Probe blasts off to chase asteroid for possible mining mission. A privately built spacecraft has embarked on an unprecedented deep space mission to scout out an asteroid's potential for mining. The probe, called Odin, was launched on a SpaceX rocket alongside a robotic moonlander that will drill for water and a lunar orbiter that will map water resources with an instrument built by the University of Oxford. Odin is destined for asteroid 2022 OB5 that's believed to be rich in platinum and similar metals, which are critical for electronic, medical, and green technology. Matt Gialik, engineer and co-founder of startup Asteroid, told that mining the metals on Earth costs $900 an ounce. The problem is that on Earth we have mined all of the good sources of platinum group metals. Everything we're looking at now is thousands of meters under the Earth. It's actually very, very difficult to mine. But we know this exists in space. We know it's readily available. For our mission, instead of going down, we want to go up, he said. Odin will take 300 days to catch up with the asteroid 1 million miles from Earth. It will take close-up images of the surface to confirm it is metallic. The company then plans to land a second spacecraft on the asteroid later this year and test for platinum and other elements. If the asteroid is as rich in the metals as hoped, the first mining expeditions could follow. Asteroid has developed a low-energy refining technique that it says can produce 1,000 kilograms of high-quality metal in 3 months. The precious cargo would then be returned to Earth. Scientists at the Natural History Museum in London have analyzed the composition of meteorites that have fallen to Earth. Some have the weight and look of lumps of metal. Professor Sarah Russell, an expert in cosmic mineralogy at the museum, told metallic asteroids are rarer than stony ones. But they make up quite a substantial part of our collection, so we know they are out there in space. We know they are incredibly rich in elements like platinum, cobalt, and nickel. They are a fantastic resource for many metals. Mr. Gialik said the time was right for rethinking the way humanity mines the resources that drive the economy. The way we mine today is one of the most damaging processes on Earth, right? We are destroying our planet to allow us to live in the way we live. Asteroid mining opens up a new gate to maintain our way of life, cost-free, he said. Mother on trial charged with kidnapping and selling daughter. A mother has gone on trial accused of kidnapping and selling her young daughter in South Africa. Kelly Smith, whose full name is Raquel Chantel Smith, denies organizing the abduction of her daughter Jocelyn in February 2024 in return for a payment. She has pleaded not guilty to the charges alongside 2 men, her partner, Jacqueline Apollos, and friend Stevino Van Rhyn. Their trial began on Monday in a sports hall in the small coastal town of Saldanha Bay, in the southwest of the country, around 72 miles north of Cape Town. Jocelyn, who was 6 when she disappeared, is still missing following a nationwide police hunt. Smith won sympathy across South Africa in the early days of Jocelyn's disappearance, and neighbors joined together to help police search for the child in sand dunes near the settlement of shacks and small houses where they lived. Smith claimed she left Jocelyn with Apollos on the day she went missing and had not seen her again, but police later arrested her. Another woman who was arrested was not charged and is reportedly due to testify as a state witness. In court documents, the prosecution claims Smith had been planning to sell Jocelyn and her 2 other children since August 2023, although only Jocelyn went missing. They also alleged that Smith and Jocelyn were seen getting into a white vehicle with a bag of clothes the day the girl was reported missing. A police appeal to find Jocelyn remains on the South African Police Service, SAPS, website. It reads, Racheline Smith, 6 years, disappeared on Monday morning, February 19, 2024 at 9 a.m. She was last seen at Mid-Delpo Saldanha, wearing blue t-shirt and blue denim trousers, with birthmark on right arm. Judge Nathan Erasmus said the 3 defendants could face life in prison if found guilty. The trial continues. The case has provoked anger in the community, with crowds outside the sports hall chanting, "We want Jocelyn back," according to local media reports. In March 2024, similar protests were held during a pre-trial hearing for the 3 defendants at the Magistrates Court in Vredenburg, Saldanha Bay. Kim Jong-un's sister threatens response to U.S. aircraft carriers deployment. The sister of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un has threatened the Trump administration with retaliatory action for stepping up provocations with the deployment of a U.S. aircraft carrier to South Korea. The warning from Kim Yo-jong, a powerful official in her brother's regime, implies North Korea will likely ramp up weapons testing activities and maintain its confrontational posture against the U.S. In a statement carried by state media, she accused the U.S. of showing its most hostile and confrontational will to North Korea. It follows the deployments of the USS Carl Vinson and other powerful U.S. military assets this week, as well as joint U.S.-South Korean military drills this year. She said her country would deliver a threatening response to the arrival of the U.S. aircraft carrier in the region, which she condemned as the confrontation hysteria of the U.S. and its stooges. The DPRK is also planning to carefully examine the option for increasing the actions threatening the security of the enemy at the strategic level to cope with the fact that the deployment of U.S. strategic assets in the Korean Peninsula has become a vicious habit and adversely affects the security of the DPRK, she said, using the acronym of North Korea's official name, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. The USS Carl Vinson and its strike group arrived at the South Korean port of Busan on Sunday, the latest temporary deployment of a U.S. strategic asset. The move aimed to illustrate the strength of the U.S.-South Korean military alliance in the face of North Korean threats. The U.S. carrier's arrival came 4 days after North Korea conducted cruise missile tests, its 4th missile launch event this year. It comes despite U.S. President Donald Trump saying he would contact Kim Jong-un to revive diplomacy. North Korea has not responded to Mr. Trump's comments. Mr. Kim and Mr. Trump met 3 times between 2018 and 2019 during the U.S. president's first term in office to discuss the future of North Korea's nuclear program. Their high-stakes diplomacy eventually collapsed due to wrangling over U.S.-led economic sanctions on North Korea. Tattoos may be linked to increased risk of cancer, study suggests. Tattoos may be linked to an increased risk of cancer, according to a new study. Researchers at the University of South Denmark and the University of Helsinki have found tattoo ink may increase the risk of skin and lymphoma cancers. The research team says this is because tattoo ink accumulates in the lymph nodes and does not just remain where it is injected. Lymph nodes are small structures which help to protect the body against potentially harmful substances. The university researchers are concerned that tattoo ink may trigger an inflammation in the lymph nodes, which could lead to abnormal cell growth and an increased risk of cancer over time. A quarter, 26%, of the British public have tattoos, according to a 2022 YouGov survey. Last year, Wales brought in new rules for tattoo artists and body piercers with a UK-first licensing scheme. The team at the University of South Denmark, SDU, have access to information from more than 5,900 Danish twins, as part of survey results from the Danish twin tattoo cohort. Having analyzed tattoo patterns and cancer diagnoses, the study found higher occurrence of both skin and lymphoma cancers in those with tattoos. The unique aspect of our approach is that we can compare twin pairs where one has cancer, but they otherwise share many genetic and environmental factors, said Jacob von Bormann-Jelmborg, professor of biostatistics at SDU. The study also suggests the size of the tattoo can have an impact, and the rate for lymphoma is particularly high for tattoos defined as bigger than a palm. The rate was nearly 3 times higher for individuals with large tattoos compared to those without any. This suggests that the bigger the tattoo and the longer it has been there, the more ink accumulates in the lymph nodes, Cigna Bed's Ted Clemenson, assistant professor of biostatistics at SDU, added. Researchers plan to conduct further research into whether particular ink colors have varying impacts and whether certain types of lymphomas are more linked to tattoos than others. TikTok and Reddit investigated overuse of children's data. TikTok, Reddit and Imager are to be investigated by the UK's data protection watchdog over how they use teenage users' personal information. The Information Commissioner's Office, ICO, said it wants to look into how video sharing app TikTok uses information from users aged 13 to 17 to deliver content recommendations to them. The investigations into online forum site Reddit and image sharing site Imager will focus on their use of age assurance measures, such as how they estimate and verify children's ages, and how they use their personal information. The regulator is taking action amid growing concerns about how social media platforms use data generated by children's online activity in their recommendation algorithms and the potential for young people to be served harmful or inappropriate content as a result. TikTok's algorithm powers the For You page, which recommends videos to users based on the content they engage with on the app. A study previously found the app was suggesting eating disorder and self-harm content to some new teen accounts within minutes. Information Commissioner John Edwards said the regulator wants to ensure the site's processes are robust. Mr. Edwards said he expects to find that there will be many benign and positive uses of children's data in their recommender systems, as well as elements that are designed to keep children safe. He insisted the regulator is not picking on TikTok by including it in the investigation and said the choice was motivated by the direction of growth travel in relation to young users, market dominance, and potential for harm. The ICO said its investigations will examine whether there have been any data protection infringements, and if evidence of potential breaches is found, it will put the information to the platforms for their input before reaching a conclusion. Scientists trying to bring back the woolly mammoth create a woolly mouse. Scientists trying to bring back the woolly mammoth have created a woolly mouse. Colossal Biosciences unveiled plans in 2021 to revive the woolly mammoth and later the dodo bird, attracting investors, headlines, and critics alike. The Texas-based biotech company has since focused on identifying the key traits of extinct animals with the goal of genetically engineering them into living animals, according to Chief Executive Ben Lamb. Alongside bringing back species that went extinct, the company hopes their work can be used to help with conservation efforts. But other scientists have mixed views of their work and whether it will be helpful. On Tuesday, Colossal Biosciences said its researchers had edited 7 genes in mice embryos to create a mouse with long, thick, woolly hair. They nicknamed the extra furry rodent a colossal woolly mouse. The company now plans to genetically modify Asian elephants to give them woolly mammoth traits, but critics have argued that this is different from actually bringing a species back from extinction. "You're not actually resurrecting anything, you're not bringing back the ancient past," said Christopher Preston, a wildlife and environment expert at the University of Montana, who was not involved in the research. He added, "You might be able to alter the hair pattern of an Asian elephant or adapt it to the cold, but it's not bringing back a woolly mammoth. It's changing an Asian elephant." Alongside the mouse being given different hair, in a press release, Colossal Biosciences said the rodent had also gained the woolly mammoth's accelerated fat metabolism. Both were said to be likely related to cold tolerance. These genetic variations were already present in some living mice, the company's chief scientist Beth Shapiro said, adding, "We put them all together in a single mouse." The company said it focused first on mice to confirm the process worked before potentially moving on to the embryos of Asian elephants, the closest living relative of woolly mammoths. However, as Asian elephants are an endangered species, there will be a lot of red tape before any plans can move forward, Mr. Lam admitted.